Hello and welcome to another video tutorial on understanding body language, lies, cheats and happy feet. I hope you're doing okay. These are my final 3 videos I'm going to be doing for a while. I'm taking a bit of a break from my body language work so I can spend more time with my missus and concentrate on other projects as well. So I hope you enjoy these final 3 videos. Tonight, the first one I've got for you is none other than Amy Winehouse. Now, I'm sure you're very familiar with who Amy Winehouse was. Unfortunately, she sadly passed away this month. So very sad news. And she did I found an interview that she did with MTV. So I'm just going to run through the non-verbals and let's see if we can spot anything untoward. So let's just click play and let's see what we can find.
Welcome to the pod.
Hello.
So Amy,
Am I talking to it like this?
yeah, that's it.
That'll do. Okay.
Right, okay, so Amy Winehouse was a massive superstar in Great Britain and around the world for her albums. So let's see if we can spot her body language when she does this video with MTV. So,
How's it going? How are you?
Yeah, very well. How are you? All right?
Good. Okay, I'm gonna
so
start
everything
off by,
seems normal to begin with. Everything seems to be in the right
news I
place.
just heard that
These are the interview, the panel. Okay, we've got 3 guys there. Well, 2 guys and 1 girl. Body language is very non-threatening there. Everything's in the right place. So there should be no reason that Amy gets upset or angry throughout this interview, just based on this body language alone.
with you in his live shows.
Yeah. Well, I think he did a cover of my.
So what I noticed there automatically is the false start that Amy Winehouse makes at the start. Now, a false start happens when we're just about to say something, but we're not overly sure we should say it. So we repeat ourselves and we get into a bit of a mess because our words just come out in different orders, like this one here. Listen to this.
Wants to perform some songs with you in his live shows.
Yeah. Well, I think he did a cover of.
So that's called a false start. But might be able to attribute that to just nerves at the start.
One of my songs, I think, last night.
And didn't he say like he wanted you guys to perform together? Do you think you're gonna take him up on
I'd
it?
love to take him on. Like, are you mad? Are you absolutely mad? I'd really love to.
So what we're seeing there is a lack of facial expressions by Amy Winehouse. She's saying that she'd absolutely love to. So when we say we'd absolutely love to, what would you do? We'd flash our eyebrows up and we'd show excitement on the face. We don't see any of that here.
Take him up on
I'd
it?
love to take him on. Like, are you mad? Are you absolutely mad? I'd really love to.
So there we go. So we're seeing a very emotionless face there from Amy, which is surprising because she's talking about something happy.
Stuff like that. You don't, even cross your fingers to get your hopes up. Do you know what I mean? If it comes through, it comes through.
So what we see there is a head down, eyes up, submissive gesture. Now we do this at times when there's a big pause. And generally it's ourselves that have caused the pause. Let's say, for instance, you were talking with your friends and they were making fun of you and you wanted them to stop. You drop your head down and bring your eyes up to make yourself look relatively submissive. And that's exactly the gesture Amy makes here because she knows full well that she's had just a long pause there. I think it's around about 4 or 5 seconds, listen. That pause. Can't think of what else to say. Eyes, head down, eyes up.
It's not I've got my hopes up.
You did you were very honest on your CD, and people like Prince and Jay-Z and all these people are being attracted to what you do. How do you feel about that? Like, you do something that's just you, and then artists, I'm here because your stuff is really amazing. How do you deal with that magnetic of being like that?
So if you notice there, Amy Winehouse's eyes are all over the place. Now, normally when we're talking with somebody or listening to someone, we try and give them good eye contact. But what we found with Amy here is the eyes are just all over the place. They're darting up and round.
It's cool. It's nice, isn't it? You never think that something you never think people will hear it, let alone think it's,
So for some reason, this question is causing Amy to suffer some kind of anxiety or stress. The stress is manifesting itself with the asymmetrical shoulder shrug on her right-hand side, which just shifts up. And note the pacifying gesture she makes around about her neck here. So the notch around here, which sometimes women scratch when they're nervous. And also she goes around the back of the head to scratch, which is a classic manipulator when we feel anxiety or stress. It's not a symptom or symbol of deception on its own, but it does show that there's some kind of stress felt here by Amy. Watch it again.
Something you never think people will hear it.
So the asymmetrical shoulder shrug, a pacifying gesture.
I'm proud of it. I love it. I'm really proud of what
So we've got 2 clusters of movement there.
on my record. I'm just pleased other people like it as well.
And Amy, Chaos mentioned that Jay-Z's liking your stuff. I heard that he's working with some of your songs. What's going on with that? What's your Jay-Z connection?
He just makes my sandwiches for me in between some chicken and salad.
That's it.
So I don't know what that meant. I don't know what she meant about the sandwiches there, but we don't need to see this bit because there's nothing really happening body language wise here until we get back to the main bit. So we'll just trim the fat. And I think here we go.
And you talking about another really cool thing. Again, might just be a rumor, but
Okay.
007 Bond girl.
Nah,
No?
I don't know. Nothing. No one's asked me anything.
So again, we've gone from obviously quite a jocular question there, which Amy's taken the wrong way to be quite serious, and we can see here on her face as well that it's not really registering.
No?
I don't know. Nothing. No one's asked me.
So we've got a false start again there, and a stutter. So Amy here is she's falling to bits.
No?
I don't know. Nothing. No one's asked me anything.
But you would if they did?
Yeah, if I wasn't busy.
So again, we're seeing no smiles. She's not taking it very jocular. It's all deadly serious, and we can see on the face here. I mean, look at that facial expression here. She's not picking up the jocular vibes from this lady here.
I love that. All right, let's get back to the music. Why don't you take it away?
And you can see here by the gesture that lady makes there when she puts her arms right across her body. Look from this position she makes here, and look at the.
I love that. All right, let's get back.
So we've got this position here where she articulates with the gestures of the hands, and note the position she makes after that complete car crash of a question there from Amy. She makes a double arm barrier, and she pacifies herself by touching the elbow and bringing the elbows in, and that's why she made that rub of her arm there, and she's still rubbing her arm there because she's now feeling anxiety and stress because she is the interviewee. She's the interviewer, and her interview is not going very well at all here, so she's feeling the stress.
It's interesting. I guess my major question to you is, you put out a song like Rehab, which again is a very honest statement for you, and your life seems to be under a microscope. People tend to kind of check your out or check your stuff out more than anyone else. Do you feel that it's a negative thing? Because I believe artists have always been themselves from the 60s and the 70s, but in the 80s and the 90s, 2000s.
So Amy looks like she's really struggling here to comprehend what this guy's saying. Now then, if you check this guy's vocal tones out and vocal style, he's very softly spoken.
Seems to be under a microscope. People tend to.
He's got quite a deep voice, which it can be quite difficult to hear what he's saying, but if you were stood that close to him, you should be able to comprehend what he's saying.
Check your out.
But it looks like to me here that Amy isn't quite registering what's going in.
Do you feel that it's a negative thing? Because I believe artists have always been themselves from the 60s and the 70s, but in the 80s and the 90s,
And we can clearly see from that
2000,
expression.
people's lives are under a microscope. You can't just be an artist, but everyone's trying to get into your life all the time. How do you deal with that?
Well, I don't know about you, Kevin, but it's important, I think, to just focus on the positive things. No, I'm not a very negative person. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? You can't. You know, it's all right. Do you know what I mean? It's,
Now, goodness, there is so much happening there that I'll need at least about 5 minutes to analyse that bit there.
it's all right. You can't focus on bad things.
Okay, let's just go back to the. I don't even know where to start with this one. Right, first thing I know is here, pacifying gesture she makes towards the belly button.
Into your life all the time.
What's this?
How do you deal with that?
Well, I don't know.
Switches the
about you,
microphone
Kevin, but it's important,
to there.
I think, to just focus on the positive things. No, I'm not a very negative person. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? You can't.
Now then, did you catch the eyes roll back into the skull? Let's just try it again.
No, I'm not a very negative person. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? You can't.
The eyes roll back into the skull there. Now then, why do the eyes roll back?
No, I'm not a very negative person. I don't care. Do you know what I mean?
There we go. We can clearly see the whites of the eyes as the eyeballs roll back. Why do the eyeballs roll back? You tell me. I don't study drugs and alcohol. If that's the one of the side effects there.
You can't. You know.
And unable to comprehend what's being said, so her brain is unable to process words and get them out via the mouth. So she's really struggling here.
You can't. You know. It's all right. Do you know what I mean? It's all right.
And she moves into just repeated chains of words, just using the same words all the time, which is a real shame.
You can't focus on bad things.
It's better not even to talk about it in a way.
It's all right. It's alright, do you know what I mean?
Do you find yourself changing?
So she's just saying it's all right, you know what I mean? So she's unable to comprehend what's being said, and she's unable to form words or even form sentences here. We can see with the eyes rolling back into the head, there's something seriously amiss here with Amy.
As far as before, hugely famous, and now it's no matter where you go, you're being watched all the time. Do you find yourself closing in, or are you still trying to maintain exactly who you are?
Yeah.
So again, so we see that expression there. It's like she wasn't even listening. If you look at the head shakes here.
Yeah. It's alright.
Watch it again. I was trying to pause it in the right place there. Watch it again.
No matter where you go, you're being watched all the time. Do you find yourself closing in, or are you still trying to maintain exactly who you are?
1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4. Almost 5 seconds
do you know what I mean?
to get a reaction from Amy.
It's alright.
So it's looking like her cognitive processing is way off. Her brain's trying to register what's going on, and it ain't happening here for some reason or another.
Drinking in particular, it's one of those things where it's like, do you have to like worry about drinking in public or drinking at social events, or
What's drinking got to do with it?
Okay, so there we go. So automatically she's distancing herself from her alcohol addiction. It's well documented that Amy Winehouse was unfortunately an alcoholic. So she's distancing herself.
or drinking at social events, or
What's drinking got to do with it?
well, because when Rehab came out, and there was all this speculation about.
So we're seeing, look at the tongue movement there, you see, that's a manifestation of anger. Check out the Chris Brown interview I did when he talks about Rihanna. He makes that particular gesture there, which is an angry gesture with the tongue, pushing it into the side of the mouth.
All the interviews, is that something that actually like mattered to you in your public persona?
Nah.
No.
Actually, I want to say that it doesn't really.
So we can see one word answers there from Amy, and then something happens here where the guy, one of the other interviewers, has to get in here and give Amy some praise, because this interview is just a terrible interview at the moment. And there we go, and that's the only way we can get the audience involved, by him giving her praise. And we can see by her non-verbal reaction here, she'd just rather not be here.
It's just people ask questions, I think, sometimes because they want to know about you. So I can see your frustration with the same questions coming over.
Yeah.
I feel that. And I just respect what you do, you know.
It's alright, I'm just a musician, do you know what I mean?
Me too.
So we see flashes of sadness coming in now from Amy Winehouse, which is a real shame,
Go ahead.
because she's screaming for help non-verbally during this video.
Wondering what the pin-up connection is.
I just like pretty girls.
So silently, Amy here is crumbling and self-destructing before our very eyes.
Yeah, I was wondering, Amy, if you were to take a modern singer, like from the last 15 years in their prime, and you were to take someone from the 60s and 70s in their prime and make a duet, who do you think would be the two best singers to put together?
Someone like
So again, so unable to cognitively process the information here. Watch Amy's reactions
Two
here.
best singers to put together.
someone like
So pacifying gesture with the nose.
I don't know.
So unable to think about anybody or any names or anything.
I don't know.
Like me and her, I think.
60s and 70s. 60s and 70s.
I don't know. I don't know. It's already been done. Do you know what I mean?
No, like,
So she's
not
so
like someone
distant.
that people dead too.
It's terrible.
I don't know. Who would you?
It's like a fantasy game,
Who
right?
would you pick, Daddy?
Who would I pick?
Yeah.
I don't know. Modern, you're fantastic. I love your voice.
Thank you.
So you can tell by the stress in his voice that he's nervous, and he knows full well that what he just asked, he didn't expect it to get mirrored back to him.
Sorry? Aretha, that'd be really good.
Aretha's a comparison you get a lot too, isn't it?
Not really. I like her. Like, she's a legend. Do you know what I mean? So.
So we can just see that the sadness is pouring out here, and
I've been listening to both your albums constantly for the last.
and it's
couple
hard
of months,
watching this
and,
from someone who studies body language. I
I
mean,
think
she's screaming for
everybody
help
is
here
really excited that
non-verbally.
You're here, and what your record said to me, and I think say to.
So I'm going to end it there. So that's the non-verbal analysis of Amy Winehouse. Some serious problems there. I don't know what on earth happened with Amy during this interview. Her eyes were rolling back into her skull. She was unable to process any information, unable to get her words out. We were seeing slurring of words. We were using repeated chains of words. The interview was a nightmare, and she was just screaming for help non-verbally. So I do hope she got the help after this show, but sadly she did. passed, which is a great shame. You know, I was a little bit. I'm not a massive fan of her music. I like some of her songs, but throughout this video, it was a great sadness and great shame to be part of watching that. So there you go. So another video done. Please check out my other videos if you get the time. They're all on this channel. So take care and bye bye for now.